They whispered it in hallways and laughed behind conference room doors. They said love had an expiration date, and our CEO had passed it years ago. But what they didn't know was that one small act of kindness can shatter the loudest judgment, and sometimes, it can change more than one life forever. Before the story begins, take a moment to support MS Tales. If stories that touch your heart matter to you, please subscribe, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps keep these stories alive. I started working at Horizon Tech straight out of college. It was my first real job, and I was nervous every single day. The company was big, the people were sharp, and the CEO, Mr. Walter Hayes, was legendary. He was in his late 60s, tall but slightly bent at the shoulders, with silver hair he never bothered to dye. He wore the same style of suits every day and carried himself with a quiet dignity that felt old-fashioned in a world obsessed with speed and youth. People respected him, but they also talked. They said he lived alone in a large house with no family. They said his wife had passed away years ago and he never moved on. They said love was something he'd missed his chance at. Worst of all, they said it like it was something to mock. In the break room, I once overheard a group of coworkers laughing about a rumor that Mr. Hayes had been seen at a charity gala with a woman. Come on, one of them scoffed. At his age? That's just sad. He should focus on retirement, not romance, another added. I stood there quietly, holding my coffee, feeling something twist in my chest. I didn't even know the man personally, but something about the way they spoke felt cruel. A few weeks later, I was assigned to help organize files in the executive office late one evening. Most people had gone home, and the building was unusually quiet. As I walked past Mr. Hayes' office, I noticed the door slightly open and the lights still on. Inside, he sat at his desk, staring at an old photograph in his hands. He didn't notice me at first. His face looked softer than I'd ever seen, sad, but gentle. Then he glanced up, startled. I'm sorry, I said quickly. I didn't mean to interrupt. He smiled faintly. You're not interrupting. I was just remembering. On his desk was a framed picture of a younger man and woman, laughing under a tree. His hand rested on the frame like it was something fragile. My wife, he said, noticing my eyes drift to the photo. She passed away 15 years ago. I'm sorry, I said. And I meant it. He nodded. Thank you. People assume that after enough time, grief disappears. It doesn't. It just becomes quieter. That night, something shifted in me. Over the next few months, I noticed small things others ignored. Mr. Hayes always held the elevator for people, even when he was late. He remembered names, even of interns. Every Friday, he personally wrote handwritten notes to employees who had gone above and beyond, yet, behind his back, people still judged him. Then one day, everything changed. The company hosted a large charity fundraiser for a local community center. Employees were encouraged to volunteer, and I signed up without hesitation. When I arrived early to help set up, I saw Mr. Hayes already there, carrying boxes and arranging chairs. You didn't have to come so early, I said. He chuckled. Kindness doesn't run on a schedule. Later that evening, a woman arrived alone. She looked nervous, holding a small purse tightly in her hands. I recognized her from a local library. I'd seen her volunteering there before. Her name was Eleanor. She stood near the refreshment table, clearly uncomfortable, while conversations buzzed around her. No one seemed to notice her, except Mr. Hayes. He walked over, introduced himself, and asked her about her work at the library. I watched as her posture slowly relaxed, her smile growing warmer with every word. They talked for nearly an hour. The next Monday, rumors exploded. Did you see the CEO flirting with that woman? She looked way too young for him. This is embarrassing. It made me angry. So I did what no one else dared. I spoke up during lunch. When the whispers started again, I set my tray down and looked directly at them. Why does it bother you so much? I asked. Why does kindness or companionship suddenly become inappropriate just because someone is older? The table went silent. He's human, I continued. He's allowed to feel. He's allowed to care. And honestly, the way he treats people is more love than most of us show. No one argued back. They just looked away. A few weeks later, Mr. Hayes asked me into his office. I wanted to thank you, he said. For what? I asked, confused. For reminding people that age doesn't erase the heart. I didn't know what to say. I just smiled. Then, something beautiful happened. Eleanor started visiting the office, not as a rumor, but openly. She brought homemade cookies for the staff. She laughed easily and listened deeply. They weren't flashy. They didn't try to prove anything. They simply showed up for each other. One afternoon, I passed by the conference room and saw them sitting together, quietly reading through charity proposals. Their shoulders almost touched, there was no embarrassment. No apology, just peace. Slowly, the office atmosphere changed, people stopped whispering, they started smiling instead, some even joined the community center projects inspired by them. At the company holiday party, Mr. Hayes stood on stage with Eleanor beside him. He didn't announce anything dramatic. He simply thanked the team for reminding him that kindness still had a place in the world. He looked directly at me when he said it. Months later, he retired. On his last day, he hugged every single employee. When it was my turn, he said, "You reminded me that it's never too late to begin again." Today, I still work at Horizon Tech. And every time I see a new intern nervously clutching their coffee, I remember him. Kindness is allowed. IT doesn't demand attention, but when someone dares to show it, especially when the world tells them not to, it can rewrite every rule we thought we knew. So if you ever hear someone say it's too late for love, too late for hope, or too late for kindness, remember this story, and dare to do what no one else will. Because kindness has no age limit, and love doesn't ask permission. If this story touched your heart, let it remind you to be gentle, to speak up, and to choose kindness, especially when it matters most.